So we will have a meeting and the agenda will be determined as to what we can discuss. Once we do that, we will inform the relevant stakeholders so they carry out our message.
As the debate intensifies, UTAG's stance is expected to add weight to the national discourse on galamsey. With its influence in academia and policy advocacy, the association's resolve could be a turning point in mobilizing broader action to safeguard Ghana's environment for future generations. Stanley Niblew, TV3 News, Peduase.
And on the back of the incessant pressure on government from a number of civil society organizations asking for the declaration of a state of emergency or at least some concrete action be taken regarding fighting illegal mining, the government has responded. President of the Republic, John Dramani Mahama, has in a letter through the presidential secretary, that is Callistus Mahama, has invited over 50 different private institutions and CSOs to come for a meeting with the president. So that's what's on your screen. It says, on the instructions of His Excellency President Mahama, I am pleased to invite you to participate in a CSO engagement on illegal mining. And this is expected to happen on the 3rd at 12 o'clock, 3rd October, that is, 12 o'clock at the Jubilee House. And the key engagement aims to provide a platform for frank and constructive dialogue between the government and civil society on the menace of illegal mining, with a view of harnessing collective expertise, perspectives and solutions to address this national challenge. And please accept the President's assurance. And that, now let's take you through the list of invited institutions. We have the Catholic Bishops' Conference, Christian Council, Office of the Chief Imam, Arocha Ghana, Ghana Muslim Mission. It goes on to also invite Imani Africa. You tell that they are also one of the key voices advocating for the declaration of a state of emergency. The Responsible Cooperative Mining and Skill Development Program, Institute for Democratic Governance, Ghana Coalition Against Galamsey, and the list goes on and on and on. Star Ghana Foundation, Eco-Conscious Citizens, that's Awula Sewa and her team. Consistently here at Media General, we've been talking to some of these key individuals, so it is good to see them as part of the invited guests to engage the president to find a collective solution to the galamsey menace. So that particular phraseology of declaring a state of emergency probably would get some clear definition when this team meets the president on Friday. We'll update you on that.
In more news tonight, a private citizen has petitioned the Criminal Investigations Department to probe Supreme Court Justice Yoni Kulendi and his cousin Richard Jatba over alleged efforts to allegedly interfere with the prosecution of a high-profile trial. According to the petition seen by this newsroom, the petition lodged by Daniel Mafufuriata concerns the trial of the Republic versus Cassel Atoforsen, two others, which began in January 2023. According to the petition, the alleged interference began on the day the accused were first arraigned, that's 18th January 2023. The petitioner alleges Jatba sought the help of his cousin, Justice Yoni Kulendi, to obtain assistance from then Attorney General Godfred Yeboah-Adame to secure Jatba's release despite not having satisfied the conditions of bail. The petition further alleges Justice Kulendi interfered with the release of Richard Jatba.
Let's turn our attention to politics now, because a lot is happening in the camp of the New Patriotic Party. Former Energy Minister, that is Boakye Kyerematen Ejako, has officially declared his intention to contest the national chairmanship position of the New Patriotic Party, the NPP. In a statement titled "A Call to Duty," the former minister said that following extensive consultations with those whose live or who live Following close consultations with those whose lives will be affected by my decision, he has decided to put himself up for election. He said he has also listened to the masses of the party, including the rank and file, and come to the conclusion that he is duty-bound to contest the national chairmanship position of the party when nominations are opened. The party is expected to elect a flag bearer to lead the party into the 2028 elections on 31st of January 2026.
Well, there's good news for prisoners as government has announced an upward adjustment in the daily feeding allowance for inmates, raising it from 1 cedi 80 pesos to 5 cedis per prisoner. The Interior Ministry explains the increment is aimed at improving nutrition and easing pressure on the Ghana Prison Service, which has long struggled with inadequate funding for meals.
80 pesos daily feeding allowance for inmates, unchanged since 2010, has long been criticized as woefully inadequate for providing 3 meals a day to prisoners. After years of public outcry and internal complaints, a 10 million cedi budgetary allocation is now expected to be released to cover the last quarter of the year. This follows presidential approval for an increase in the daily allowance from 1 cedi 80 pesos to 5 cedis, a move widely seen as long overdue.
We proposed 10 Ghana cedis and were granted 5. And after the consultations, President actually instructed that the amount should be increased to 5 cedis. And that's an amount of 10 million, which was supposed to cover the last quarter of the year, was to be released. But it is yet to be released, even though the approval has been.
We know that the 5 cedis is not adequate, but looking at where we are taking it from, 1 cedi 80% to 5 cedis would be a good start. Hoping that will build on it.
Interior Minister Mohammed Muntaka Mubarak, responding to revelations that over 600 firearms are being unlawfully held by civilians with expired licenses, said an ongoing detailed overhaul of Ghana's firearms licensing system is the best solution.
One of the challenges that we have is that everything is manual. If it is not computerized, it becomes a daunting task. So these 606 that they are talking about, they are scattered across the country. We are currently working on digitalizing, like I mentioned earlier, almost every services in the ministry. In fact, we are almost at the tail end of it. We are very hopeful by November, December, it should come on board.
While addressing multiple infractions involving agencies under his ministry during his appearance before the Public Accounts Committee, the minister also pushed for legal reforms. He called for laws that will hold past public officials accountable for financial irregularities uncovered during audits.
We may have to amend our laws to hold the specific persons who are there to come and answer. Why am I saying this? This is an infraction 2020-2024. Someone was sitting there and acted irresponsibly. He came to office in February, and with 3 months he was able to retrieve that money. Someone was there, he was giving the management notice showing this infraction. He sat throughout that period. He never retrieved a dime. Yet now 5 of the companies are what do you call it, have gone defunct. And the amount of money in their name, madam, it is better we tell the committee the truth. Those companies, that amount of money in their name cannot be retrieved because they are no longer in existence.
Meanwhile, the committee has rescheduled its engagement with the Attorney General and the Food and Agriculture Ministries after both sector ministers and their deputies failed to appear before the committee.
Now, some aggrieved staff of the Ghana Railway Workers Company have threatened mayhem if their grievances are not addressed after the second round of engagements with the National Labour Commission. The railway workers suspended their planned strike over 12 months' salary arrears after the Labour Commission directed them to return to the negotiation table with the appropriate authorities.
Some of the embattled workers who had massed up at the premises of the National Labour Commission did not fail to register their displeasure at the leadership over their unpaid salary arrears. After several hours of engagement between the Ghana Railway Development Authority, Ghana Railway Workers Company, and the Transport Ministry, a verdict of another meeting for further negotiation was concluded.
We have given up today up to 8. Today up to 8, that is next week, Wednesday, for all the parties, all the bodies to sit down and have a conclusion on the payment plan, how they are going to pay the 12 months salary. And we will report back on the 9th, that's Thursday, on the 9th, so that we will come up with a payment plan. Then we know that, ending of October, they are paying us, or this and that. So it's up to the ministry, the federal ministry, to engage the union with the GRC and the GRDA, so that we have a conclusion on the payment plan.
Managing Director of the Railway Company, Dr. Michael Ej Anyete, expressed confidence that the workers will not be relegated and lose their jobs.
The minister has assured us that everything is under control, and we are very happy. We are of the view that at least something must be done for GRCL workers to also be part of the running of the Tama in Pakadan. You understand? Do you know who are going to drive the trains? Railway workers. Railway workers are going to drive the trains. As it stands, GRDA has also requested through the minister that we give them some workers who will be maintaining the railway tracks, So we are still in there. Something is being done. It's not.
But some staff who remain unconvinced indicated that they will create confusion if there's no resolution at the next agenda date.
If by next week we have still not been paid, we will wreak havoc in the offices of railway company. We cannot be taken for granted. Their children live large and school in other countries while we suffer without pay.
Members of the Railway Workers Union said the non-payment of wages since October 2024 has left employees and their families in severe distress, citing financial hardship, health complications, broken homes, and disruption of children's education. Lord Idwasar, TV3 News, Accra.
Still on the Labour front, the Education Minister Haruna Idrisu has urged a coalition of unpaid teachers who have been protesting for 13 months unpaid salaries to remain patient and await clearance from the Ministry of Finance. He acknowledged the legitimacy of their demands and assured them that he will work to ensure their salaries are paid. Noura Mohammed reports.
13 months of unpaid salaries. This is not patriotism. This is simply injustice. These were some of the phrases that could be seen on placards held by some members of the coalition of newly posted teachers who are embarking on a demonstration and convened earlier this morning at Obra Spot and marched all the way to the Jubilee House to present a petition. Teachers recruited from colleges of education and universities have been waiting for their salaries for over a year, despite fulfilling all requirements. After the previous clearance elapsed on December 31st, 2024, they awaited new directives but received none. The teachers have submitted multiple petitions to the Ministries of Education and Finance as well as the Ghana Education Service, but claim their pleas have fallen on deaf ears.
Government appointees have been paid every month. We need our salaries.
One city, sir, we've not gotten one city. 13 good months. 13 good months. And whenever you come, you tell us you are in our shoes. You can never be in my shoe. You don't know what I'm going through. I'm teaching enough, and I'm still here fighting for my money. Who does that?
The executives of the coalition presented their petition to the Jubilee House, demanding the president's urgent action.
For 9 to 13 months, we've been in the classrooms, we've been at the war front working. You all know how the recruitment process is. When you get the appointment, no one gives you a dime. You would have to go for loans and all that. And for 13 months, without salaries, it's not been easy.
We presented a petition expecting that it will get to His Excellency for action to be taken. For a good 2 weeks, we have not heard anything.
Once you have brought this here, I will definitely take it in there. No, it will not be under my desk. It will be looked at as to why the delay has occurred. I have no idea. Whether it's October or November, this will be treated urgently because we don't want to see our teachers on the street because we need you in the classroom to teach our kids.
Proceeding to the Finance Ministry and the Education Ministry, they made a final stop to the Independence Square, where the Education Minister, Haruna Idrisu, engaged them.
The matter which requires urgent solution is 6,700 whose process started. Subsequent to Ministry of Finance issued clearance for your recruitment to the Ministry of Education. That process only lapsed in December 2024. You will receive deservedly even for the period that you are so complaining about. You'll be compensated for it.
Still on education, it's a new academic year for senior high school students, and parents are determined to get their wards the best possible start in school. Judith Brown visited the Makola market where shopping has already begun in earnest.
The chaos is palpable here at Makola Market, faces etched with worry and determination as parents scramble to prepare their wards for senior high school. I visited one of the biggest stationery shops, choked with parents and wards navigating through the crowd. Some parents seem overwhelmed by the length of the prospectus.
Definitely, it's very tough for us. Definitely tough for me because this is the first time for me. And though I also went there before, but those days it was not like this. I don't think my parents suffered like this. I'm suffering today. So definitely, I may say it's very tough for me these days. Yeah, going around, buy this one, buy that one, buy this one, buy that one. The tall list as you can see. Yeah, so it's very difficult for us these days. I know people are complaining. I saw it first, I complained a lot. I called even the headmistress, they say, yeah, it's compulsory to bring all those things.
Others, however, appear unfazed, calmly browsing through shops, confident in their ability to manage.
Oh, normal, and not so too much.
It's normal. It's not too much. For my first child, I bought even more things. They've removed a lot from the list, including brooms and buckets. So it's normal.
It means when I get on normal, and yet the greatest first one now.
This is my first experience. This is the first time my child is going to school. Per the prospectus I'm having, I think it's okay. The list and the course, I believe that it also depends on the course that the individual is doing. But with STEM, that's something STEM Academy, their prospectus, everything is cool.
The market is bustling, with vendors doing their best to meet the demand, while parents are looking for the best deals on school essentials.
Sales are okay, but not as good as previous years. People are still coming, so it's a bit slow.
As a new academic year approaches, the question on everyone's mind is, will they get everything they need? Well, the scramble for SHS essentials is on, and parents are clearly leaving no stone unturned. Judith Brown, TV3 News, Accra.
Now, Tuesday and Friday school activities at Tuanikope Basic School, located on one of the Ada East Islands, have been restored after teachers of the school were provided with an official boot, outboard motors and life jackets. Joseph Armstrong Gold Alodbe was in the island community months after our initial reports.
On July 5, 2024, TV3 reported on the plight of island schools in the Adan East District, where Tuanikope DA Basic School kids could not hold classes on Tuesdays and Fridays. The challenge stemmed from the lack of boats and outboard motors to transport teachers from the mainland to the island, especially on market days. Pupils told TV3 the situation was affecting their academic work, but a follow-up visit to the school on Tuesday, September 30, revealed a turnaround. Teachers now have access to an official outboard boots and life jackets, ensuring consistent teaching days.
We can today say we have our own boat, our new machine, that's the outboard motor, brand new. What you people came to do about 2 years ago? A year ago. I think a year or 2 years ago. It yielded a positive result.
The last time you came, they told me my life jacket wasn't a proper one, but today I have a good life jacket.
We are currently on our way to Tuanikope, an island school where until last year they did not have a boat. And this time around, we are fortunate they've been given a boat and an outboard motor, making commuting to school very easy for them.
The headmaster of the Tuanikope Basic School, Abayate, expressed gratitude to TV3 and stakeholders for the intervention.
It's not like
we choose that we won't go to school Fridays and Tuesdays. But today, as you can see, if not because we have our own boat and we have to fall on the commercial boat, there is no way we can make it.
He added that the improvement has reflected in academics, with the school placing third in the Adan East district in the latest BEC results.
Academic-wise, this very year, Tuanikope Basic School came third in the whole district when it comes to result-wise.
During TV3's visit, pupils were already in class. Some of them confirmed that their teachers' presence has since been regular.
Now you people has given both to our teachers. Now they are coming school Tuesday and Friday. Now it's good.
The Human Resource Manager of the Adan East Education Directorate, Neokai, also commended its support.
Through your reportage, we got help. A mining firm came in and they donated a boat with outboard motor to the school. The canoe has been in existence and is in use. So if you go to the school Monday to Friday, you see teachers in the school.
He, however, appealed for assistance to provide teachers with accommodation, saying government alone cannot shoulder the burden. Currently, there are 5 schools serving 13 island communities in Adan East with a students' population of more than 500. With transport challenges addressed, island communities like Tuanikope are hopeful the next step will be permanent housing for teachers to sustain quality education delivery.
Indeed, it appears there has been some sort of improvement here at Tuanikope DA Basic School, but many more things need to be added to make teaching environment here very conducive. Joseph Armstrong, Go TV3, Tuanikope.
The Attorney General, Dr. Dominic Ayine, has reaffirmed government's commitment to ensuring that companies and organizations across the country adopt robust risk management systems. Speaking at a stakeholder meeting in Accra, Dr. Ayine said that the move is aimed at helping businesses become more resilient in the face of global economic shocks.
From global upheavals to COVID-19 pandemic, businesses and organizations in Ghana have taken a major hit in recent years. While some companies were forced to shut down permanently, others had to slash salaries or lay off staff just to stay afloat. But a few managed to weather the storm, and they did it by embracing technology. Experts say that shift to digital tools and systems played a critical role in helping those businesses to stay resilient. Now, the Office of the Registrar of Companies is urging the private sector to take risk management seriously and see technology as an essential part of that process. Mami Samapepra is the Registrar of Companies.
Enterprise risk management provides the tools to identify, assess, and respond to risk systematically. It allows businesses and institutions to build resilience, improve governance, and make better decisions.
At a stakeholder engagement in Accra, the Attorney General, Dr. Dominic Ayine, reiterated government's commitment to creating a stable business environment for both employers and workers.
As Attorney General and Minister of Justice, I wish to reaffirm the commitment of my office to supporting the ORC and all its stakeholders in its efforts to build a business climate that is efficient, fair, and resilient.
The board chairman of the Securities and Exchange Commission, Dr. Edu Anani Entry, also weighed in emphasizing the need for companies to take risk management seriously.
To achieve this feat, we must first assess the risk awareness culture within our respective organizations and collectively work towards climbing up current maturity ladder.
Still watching News 360 on TV3. We have business, sports, and entertainment all coming up. Do stay with us.
I am Michael Obodu. Now, the African Growth and Opportunity Act, AGOA, the cornerstone U.S.-Africa trade pact since 2000, officially expired today, immediately ending duty-free access for thousands of Ghanaians and other African products to the U.S. market. The lapse leaves thousands of workers in limbo and subjects exporters to heavy new tariffs, threatening the survival of key manufacturing and agricultural sectors.
AGOA granted eligible sub-Saharan African countries, including Ghana, preferential access to the U.S. for 25 years, a window designed to spur industrialization and create jobs. Its termination means Ghanaian goods will now be subjected to compound tariffs, eliminating the competitive margin that kept them viable against rivals from other parts of the world. The Executive Secretary to the Importers and Exporters Association of Ghana, Samson Asaki Awingobet, has expressed concerns over looming export disruptions and potential loss of competitiveness. His warning comes as Ghana's AGOA-related exports to the U.S. showed a steep 45% decline in the first months of 2025, a red flag that signaled severe vulnerability even before the official lapse.
One will have to pay that 15% tariff, which is going to be a disincentive, it's going to be a challenge, which is going to be a cost to us, and which can lead up to reduction of investment. And then we want to use this opportunity to appeal to the president and the government that is to take a pragmatic steps to address this situation before it gets out of hand. I'm afraid for those people whose goods are on the way, if the goods arrive tomorrow, will the American accept it because it has only left our shores?
A financial economist, Dr. Eric Boachi Yadom, has called on government and local exporters to aggressively pursue alternative global market destinations beyond the United States.
Ghana needs to find alternative markets to strengthen our export there rather than overly concentrating on USA. It comes with opportunities and challenges. The opportunities is the fact that we need to look at other markets, and highly concentrating one market like the US market will always put us at the wrong side.
There is the need for policymakers to implement a transition plan to support affected businesses and prevent widespread job losses in this new, unpredictable global trade environment.
Now, the Ghana Shippers Authority says it is working to address bottlenecks caused by non-tariff barriers in order to encourage more small and medium-sized enterprises, SMEs, to enter the export sector across the sub-region. SMEs in Ghana face a range of non-tariff barriers that limit them, their competitiveness, amongst them burdensome customs procedures, costly conformity assessment, and unclear rules of origin.
According to the International Trade Center, nearly half of Ghanaian exporters report challenges with non-tariff barriers. Technical measures such as fumigation requirements and certification delays are among the most frequently cited destination markets, particularly within ECOWAS and the European Union, often demand complex documentation and strict compliance with foreign standards. Locally, SMEs contend with high inspection fees, informal charges, and delays in securing export permits. Speaking on the sidelines of the African Startups and SMEs in Export and Trade Summit ASET 2025, Deputy CEO of the Shippers Authority, Sylvia O, reaffirmed the authority's commitment to facilitating trade across the sub-region. She urged businesses to take advantage of support centers located at key border points.
We have shipper complaints and support units stationed at strategic places. We have one in Aplao, we have one at Elubo, we have one in Paga. And you know, in transporting or sending goods across the borders, you go through some challenges. And these establishments are there to offer on-the-spot assistance to shippers who go through challenges along the corridor.
And with data gaps continuing to hinder policy targeting, ASET team lead Peter Adeto is calling on government to invest in robust SME profiling to ensure the success of its accelerated export development agenda.
The data is always key. For every activity and action anybody needs to take, they need to look at the data. What is the data saying? Do we have enough people in the space? Do they have the required specifications, number one? Do they have the required capacity? Because to trade internationally, number one, you need to be certified. You need to have You need to make sure that you meet global standards for the product you are selling.
The Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Association of Cooperative Credit Union Managers has called on embassies in Ghana to recognize and accept credit union statements as valid financial documents for visa applications. Speaking at the 26th Annual and Educational Conference of the Ghana Association of Cooperative Credit Union Managers, he bemoaned the constant rejection of financial statements by the embassies. Irama Smith has more.
The 26th Annual and Educational Conference in Takoradi brought together managers of cooperative credit union institutions across the country to deliberate and learn innovations about their work. The Chief Executive Officer of the association, Cyprian K. Basina, who disclosed that many credit union members do not operate traditional bank accounts, was not happy that their financial statements are rejected by the embassies. He emphasized that banks alone do not determine an individual's net worth, as many people keep all their savings with credit unions.
Most of our members have their savings with a credit union. They don't have it with the banks. In fact, even in other countries, credit union members don't even have bank accounts. And therefore, if you are supposed to travel, you are supposed to bring a bank statement. In those places, they don't use bank statement. They use the credit union savings as well. So that is why we are advocating that the credit union savings should be accepted. And that is why we are insisting that the credit union savings should be accepted, because in other countries like Kenya, most of the members don't even have banks. They don't have bank savings account. They have credit union savings account. And that is what we want to have also in Ghana. Most of our, and I use myself as an example, I have more money in my credit union savings account than the bank. And therefore, if you want my bank statement, it will not be a true reflection of my wealth in financial terms.
Meanwhile, the national president of the association, Kennedy Yeboah, has urged operators to invest in technology to make them more competitive.
We are advising our members to invest in technology by making sure that they upgrade their banking softwares, by making sure that they connect to their members through other means of connection, USSD, digital banking, and other experience, so that we can still serve our members the same way that they will come to our banking halls. But recently, a lot of members want to connect with the credit union, and it's not everybody that can come straight to the banking hall. And if you are able to serve people even to the remote locations, you need to be able to invest in technologies by upgrading our banking software, by also connecting and partnering with other institutions to be able to enhance our digital services.
The Ghana Cooperative Credit Unions Association exists to promote and empower credit unions by delivering high-quality financial and non-financial services to members nationwide.
We'll bring you updates now from the currency and the commodities market. And that'll be all for the business segment here on News 360. I am Michael Obodu. Thank you for watching. Up next is sports.
Hello, good evening and welcome to the sports segment here on News360 with me, Oreku Ampofo. Mathematically, 4 points from 6 is all the Black Stars need in their final 2 games to make it to a 5th ever World Cup. Now, ahead of the last set of qualifiers in October, the U.S. Embassy organized an event aimed at fostering connections and making sure to close the gap between the U.S. and Ghana. My colleague, Andrew Sefa-Banfo, was there and put together this report.
Of Ghana's imminent World Cup participation in the United States, Mexico and Canada, the U.S. Embassy Ghana, in collaboration with the National Sports Authority, continue to prepare for the Global Mundial. Through soccer, the National Sports Authority Director General Yampofo Ankra highlighted the importance of such an event.
It's very important, and as we heard the press attaché Matthew Asada explaining, we need to do a lot of education and preparation, and he gave us hints. I'm sure a lot of people have picked some free, consultancy here. He's given us a whole range of possibilities in terms of ideas, concepts, partnerships, and collaborations. And I think it's better we start early, and the NSA has already started engaging the various diplomatic missions, the embassies and the high commissions, not even just because of the World Cup, but in relation to sports, diplomacy, and development generally, and also networking. So it's ongoing. It's something that would have to speed up as the World Cup approaches.
With millions of people across the globe expected to make their way to the continental showpiece, press attaché to the U.S. Embassy, Matthew Asada, highlighted the importance of abiding to the United States immigration rules.
The Trump administration is very interested in ensuring that anyone that visits the United States abides by U.S. immigration law. And that's just something that, is common sense, that, each country has the ability to control who enters and stays and leaves that country. And so the United States right now, we want to ensure that we're facilitating that legitimate trade and travel, but that people are abiding by the terms of their visa. So if they're going there on a student visa, they're studying. If they're going on tourism visa, they're doing tourism. If they're going on a work visa, they're working. But again, it's really important that they abide by the terms of that visa.
As the 2026 World Cup draws closer, fans are promised an unforgettable experience.
Well, we'll still talk about the World Cup qualifiers because there's still more drama. As we mentioned yesterday, South Africa have been docked 3 points by FIFA after fielding an ineligible player against Lesotho in their 2026 World Cup qualifying game, an outcome which leaves Bafana Bafana second in Group C on 14 points. However, we went to South Africa to gauge the feeling in the country, and they do believe that they're still in pole position to qualify for the World Cup. There's more details in the following report.
South Africans have been left frustrated after the country was sanctioned for fielding Teboho Mokoena in the 2026 World Cup qualifier against Lesotho in March 2025. The FIFA Disciplinary Committee declared the match in question to have been forfeited by the representative team of South Africa by a scoreline of 3-0. As a result, Bafana Bafana have dropped to second in Group C and are now in danger of missing out on automatic qualification to the Mundial. However, South African-based journalist Lawrence Kula is still confident the fixtures play into their hands.
The coach would still be annoyed but confident that they can get this over the line, also given the fact that Benin need to play Nigeria, so they kind of could cancel each other out there. It's just about South Africa winning Zimbabwe in Durban. It's a game that was also a bit controversial because they took the game to Botswana when they played all their qualifiers in South Africa.
Group C has opened up with just 3 points separating the first 4 sides with just 2 games to go. Football administrator Adedeji Adegbenro refused to buy into the hopes of Nigeria sneaking in and still believes South Africa have their destiny in their hands.
Well, the sanctions melted out to the South African Football Association for fielding an ineligible player against Lesotho is sort of a welcome relief. If you look at it from the Nigeria perspective, it sort of gives a glimmer of hope, but I still think that South Africa will still qualify for the World Cup. Remember, they have 2 games left against Rwanda and against Zimbabwe. Both games are home, even though the game against Zimbabwe is technically an away game, but that game will be played in South Africa.
The final two fixtures of the 2026 World Cup qualifiers will be played between October 8th and October 14th.
Well, before we go, let's get the latest updates from match day 2 in the UEFA Champions League. And the matches are still ongoing, and some results have changed. On the slide just about now, Inter Milan leading there by 2-0. Chelsea also leading by 1-0 thanks to an own goal from Ricardo Royce. And then there's also Atletico Madrid, who have increased their lead to 3 against Frankfurt. Marseille also lead Ajax by 3-0. Galatasaray, thanks to a penalty from Victor Osimhen, lead and slots Liverpool. Earlier, Real Madrid were in action as they beat Kairat Almaty from Kazakhstan by 5-0. And Atalanta also coming from a goal down to beat Club Brugge by 2-1. Or you can get some more of these games on our social media handles at 3SportsGH. My name is Oreku Ampofo. Up next on the bulletin is entertainment.
In my line of work, a confident
Coming up, some entertainment tidbits.
Ghanaian musician Kiddy has stated that Ghana lacks a proper music industry due to the absence of essential structures like effective royalty systems and industry-wide support. Speaking to Hits FM, he explained that while the country produces talented artists, musicians often operate independently, relying on their own teams and resources. Kitty stressed that even top acts like Sarkodie and Stonebwoy face similar challenges as the current system does not provide the necessary infrastructure to support sustainable growth or global success. Medical has officially revealed the track list for his highly anticipated album Disturbation 2, set for release on October 10, 2025. The 18-track album features an impressive lineup of collaborators including Shatta Wale, Sarkodie, Olive the Boy, Lalid, and Beats Trap. Production is handled by top-tier producers such as A-Town TSB and Beats Vampire.
And that's how we bring the bulletin to an end. But at 9 p.m., we're going to be having Beatrice Edu and her team. We'll be bringing you Agenda. Coincidentally, Agenda is 1 year old today, from the 30th of September 2024, 30th September 2025. Congratulations to the team. So do make a date with Beatrice.
Do join Alfredo Kanse at 10 p.m. for Ghana Tonight. Good evening.